All righty. Good afternoon, HCS. Can you guys see and hear me? Thumbs up if you can see me and hear me. I'm trying a new headset feature out, so I wanna be cool like Mr. Ricky. So if y'all can hear me, okay, I'm getting a thumbs up. So it looks like you guys can hear me. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. If we could go on to the next slide, please. We'll get to the answer of the riddle. Don't worry. Um, Again, thank you guys, everybody, for joining us today for our July session of HCS Connect. Um, I am Monica Martinez Cashin, and I will be your host for today. This is on the next slide. Um, Yes, we will get there. And again, I'm going to repeat it again. Thank you guys for joining us today. I'm so used to doing HCS Connect on a Wednesday or a Thursday, but here's a different chance on a Friday. So I hope you guys all enjoy maybe this new day. Okay, so moving on to our next slide, please. I just want to quickly go over some house rules. This is HCS Connect. I see some familiar faces out there, as you guys are all aware. We invite you guys to be on camera, on mic. We want to connect with everybody. If you have any questions, feel free to raise your hands. Please let us know what you think of today's program by using the QR code. You can scan the QR code at the end or use the survey link that we'll send out. But we want to hear what you have to say about our HCS Connect. Next slide, please. So yes, the goal here at HCS Connect is to connect. We all have different opinions. We come from different places. So just remember the golden rule while we have our discussions and our conversation. That we just want to be respectful. We invite you all to share your opinions and everything. So this is going to be a good one today. Okay, so moving on to the next slide, there was a riddle about finicky Frank, and the answer, a couple of you got it right, was skiing. Frank only likes words that contain double letters. Beer, football, Ferrari. It all sounded real fancy to me. I was like, this guy's real posh if he, prefers a Ferrari over a Lamborghini. I'm like, I just like to drive fast. So yeah, so kudos, high fives to you guys out there if you got that answer correct. I see a few of you did. So kudos, kudos, kudos. Our next slide, please. So last month on our HCS Connect, we launched or we debuted, we had a little fun game to lead into our meeting about games today of our HCS Summer Scavenger Hunt. And there was a lot of excitement. So I'm so excited to announce the winners of our HCS Summer Scavenger Hunt on our next slide, please. Our fantastic winners, Mr. Rafael Trujillo, Ms. Jessie Minich, and Ms. Laurel Sharp. If you guys are on the call, I welcome you to come off camera, say hello, give us a wave. We are so appreciative that you guys participate. Oop, not too fast. Yeah, there you go. There we go. We appreciate your participation in our event. And Mr. Trujillo, I think I see you online. Oh, you even got your kids involved. That was amazing. And you said they had a great time doing that. So I see someone else coming on camera. Hi, who are we there? Oh, so you're welcome to stay on camera if you'd like. So yes, thank you guys so much for participating. I hope you guys had fun with that. We will also be making a fall summer scavenger hunt, so be on the lookout for that. Okay, next slide, please. Oh, Mr. Trujillo, you have a question. Would you like to raise your hand?
I just want to thank you for doing that. I saw
Oh,
that post and I walked out to my kids and it was my little lunch half hour. And I was like, do you think we can do this? And they're like, yeah, let's do it. So we ran around posing for pictures and it was just a delightful time. So thank you very much for just posting that idea because it made our summer funner or more fun.
oh, I love to hear that. Thank you for sharing that sentiment. I love that, it was a work thing, but you were able to get your family involved and, you were, sounds like you did it on a small time break, but you managed to get everything. If you guys haven't had an opportunity to see the photos that Mr. Trujillo shared, they're on our employee engagement teams channel, and we can share the link to that channel for those of you guys who may be on the call who are not on our channel yet, but we will share the link so you guys can see all the photos that were submitted and shared with us. But I'm so glad you were able to have that experience with your kids, and I'm so glad you participated, Mr. Trujillo. Thank you so much again. Okay, moving on to our next slide, we've got another riddle. You guys are welcome to try to share your answers in the chat, or you can come off camera. If there's a brave soul out there who wants to raise their hand, have at it. So here goes. It belongs to you, but your friends use it more. What is it? Oh, I see a hand out there, but let's see who is raising their hand. I'm sorry, uncertain features. Mr. Trujillo again. You want to come off mic?
I
Wi-Fi.
don't know if this is for sure. The thing that came to
Someone
mind
said
is
Wi-Fi.
I thought it was my phone number. Is it my phone number?
Is not your phone number.
It belongs
I
to me and my
see.
friends use it more.
That's actually probably a good answer. There's it's debatable, but there's probably several answers out there. But moving on to the next slide, the official answer that I found when doing this was your name. But like you said too, there is also, I guess at this point, several answers. It could be your phone number, your Wi-Fi. Well, I have my own Wi-Fi, but when I go to my friend's house, I definitely use their Wi-Fi, their names, your cell phone number. You're right. But side note, do you still remember telephone numbers? I don't remember anybody's number if they're not saved into my phone. Maybe my mom's house number. That's about it. So yes, thank you guys. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, okay, you do remember numbers. Wow, how fun. Okay, moving on. Sorry, I'm trying to get caught up here. Um, I think we might have missed a slide, ma'am. Back one slide. Oh, sorry. Hold on one second. Next slide, please. I'm so sorry. There we go. So let's talk some games. I want to hear in the chat, like, what are y'all's favorite games? If somebody wants to come on camera, come off mic, share what they like. On the screen, you'll see like an assortment of different sort of games. We got some board games, some bingo, but definitely come off mic, come on camera. Ooh, Sequence Phase 10. I'm not even sure what that game is. Hungry Hungry Hippo. Yes, I love it. Dominoes, Uno, chess. Any Connect Four lovers out there? Because I love Connect Four. Like, I love Connect Four. Jenga, not so much, because I'm always the one that makes the tower fall, and I hate that because of the loud crashing noise. But Connect Four, my jam. Yes. Wordle. I see some checker fans out there. Awesome. Awesome. We have a Jenga. Well, we might have to play Jenga together, Miss Fatima, because I will lose and you can win. Awesome. I love to see all the engagement going on in the chat. And, there's a really interesting linkage between games and how they stimulate our brains. If we go on to the next slide, I just quickly want to touch on our brains. Games are an excellent vehicle to learn something new and stimulate your brain. There is some science to show that games and mental exercises can activate your neural circuits and bolster your mental acuity skills. So, according to the left brain, right brain dominance theory, the left side of the brain is considered to be adapt to tasks that are considered logical, rational, and calculating. And by contrast, the right side of our brains is best at artistic, creative, and spontaneous tasks. So in sharing some of the games that you guys liked, I'm sure you can kind of like gather in there, I'm definitely a left brain person, definitely a right brain person. I think overall, I am just a right brain creative being. But the games I like, spontaneity, Connect Four, fall right into that creative right brain side. Does anybody see any linkages out there with the games that they relate to, and what hemisphere of the brain they fall into? I do see some hands out there. Apologies in advance. It's a little hard for me when I'm in this presenter mode to go back to see whose hand is raised, but I'm going to try my best. Miss Sharon, yes. Would you like to share with us, ma'am? I see your hand is up. Perhaps it's up by accident. If it's
I'm
by
sorry.
accident, that's
I had it
also
up by
okay.
accident. I apologize.
No worries.
Hi,
That is
everybody.
okay. Hello, Miss Sharon. Thank you again for joining us. Yeah, connections, as mentioned, it does both. Yeah, so there are some really interesting linkages. Yeah. So again, oh, it's a New York Times game. Okay, that sounds like a fancy game. Oh, yes, where am I? So, interesting enough, there are right brain and left brain specific games. We're going to play a couple shortly. And just some of you who may be, fans of Sudoku or puzzles, those are great for challenging the left side of your brain, which probably looks like I'm showing the right side of my brain, but the left side of your brain, while games such as Twister, charades, and memory games are great for the right side of your brain. Yeah, so okay. And as you gradually build your skill, you'll find that these games get easier so you can progressively increase the challenge level. So now, moving on to the next slide, let's play a couple games. So this is a right side brain game. I hope you guys can all see the screen. I hope you can make it a little larger so you can count. But you can come on camera, come off mic, and share in the chat. How many squares do you see? And be sure to count the squares within a square. Okay, so I'll give you guys about a minute to do that. Oh, that was a quick 21. Mr. Mac 23, 21. I see several 21s out there. 23. Miss Hooks, I know you love a good game because you were on one of my list sessions and you got all the answers right to those word puzzles. 21, 21, 21, 18, 21. All right, moving on to our next slide. Clearly, this is not the first rodeo for many of y'all because there are 21 squares on that image or on that puzzle. Okay, so there's maybe y'all are right brain folks. Maybe, or maybe you're just really good at games. That could be the answer also. Okay, that was a good one. So the next game is a little trickier. It's a left side brain game. I'm definitely a right brain game gal. So it was very challenging for me. So moving on to our next slide, we have a left brain game. So beginning with the word wall and changing one letter at a time until you get to the word firm. Each change must be a proper word. So I know even like the instructions were complicated for me. I was like, I make it make sense. It's a left brain game. So we basically have to go from the word wall to the word firm, changing one letter at a time. I tried to fill in some of the blanks here because, like I said, when I was doing the research for this game, I was like, I just don't get it. And if you guys would like, I can fill in the next word for you if that makes it easier. Make it make sense. Mr. John Hannerhan and Miss Marla, y'all are just pros. Okay, because does anybody else want to share their answers out there? Will, firm, wall, fill, will, fall, farm, farm. Interesting. Interesting. Let's see what we have out there. We'll give it a couple more seconds. Okay, we'll move on to the next slide. So the answers, per my research. Next slide, please, ma'am. Here we go. The answers were will, fill, film, firm. That sounds like like a little tongue twister also. Another way to stimulate your brain. So congratulations and big round of applause for those of you who got those correct. I appreciate the participation and all the engagement. Those were just a couple, really silly, easy. I thought the left brain was a little harder, but just a couple little examples of right brain, right brain games and left brain games. Okay, our next game it's a spot the difference game. If you guys can spot the difference in the images and share in the chat. You need another 5 minutes for that last one. I agree. Yes. When I was a kid, I loved the magazine Highlights. I remember in elementary school, our teachers always had the Highlights magazines, and there was always a spot the difference game in there. So I love these memory games. I'm like, what's the difference here? But yes, I see you guys coming up with all the differences. All the differences. Yes, I love it. I love it. I love it. I see all of the engagement happening in the chat and I'm loving it, you guys. This is fantastic. And you guys already got all of my changes. There were 6 changes and we'll start from the top to the bottom. Instead of the bread loaves, we got some flour and some sugar. Instead of the cookies, we now have some muffins. We replaced one of the cake slices with what looks like a pie slice. and we replaced one of the cinnamon rolls with a different kind of tasty roll. And then again, the name change of the bakery from Yummy Bakery to Tasty Bakery. So, yes, thank you guys all for participating. How many of you guys are big fans of Spot the Difference games? Show of hands out there. Thumbs, or actually thumbs up, because show of hands makes me think you guys have a question. Yes, I see some thumbs up. I love it. I love it. I love it. Awesome. 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 I am loving it. Perfect. Okay, so moving on to our next slide is another riddle. I have a head and a tail, but no body. What am I? You guys can go ahead if somebody wants to come on camera, come off mic. You're welcome to do that. Or share your answers in the chat. I see. I see. Oh, Miss Hicks out there with a wild card, a cruise ship. Okay, ma'am. I love it. Yes, I see all the engagement that's happening in the chat, and y'all are correct. It is a coin. On to our next slide is the answer for our riddle, and it is a coin. So silly me who here thought I was going to stump some of you guys, but look at how smart we are at HCS. Give yourselves a round of applause. Round of applause. Okay, so as we move on to yes, we are awesome. Left brain, right brain, very talented folks here at HCS. Go Avengers. Okay, so as we go on to our next slide, I'm going to introduce our special guest who is on camera, Mr. Ricky Holbert. And just in the chat, share if you guys are playing any. Mr. Albert is a gamer, and he's going to be sharing some information about gaming. And we'd love to hear in the chat, what are y'all playing? Are you guys gamers out there? And if so, what games are you playing? But for now, Mr. Holbert, welcome. The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you. Good morning, or good afternoon. I'm on leave today, so it's kind of morning still. Slept in a little bit today.
Good afternoon, sir. Welcome.
I see a Tears of the Kingdom out there. COD, okay. All right. Spades counts. I'll take it. So for those of you who don't know me, my name's Ricky Holbert. I'm the Chief of Workforce Planning. You've probably seen me around somewhere eventually at some point, or will if you haven't yet. We kind of get involved in a little bit of everything here and there. So next slide, please.
Yeah, next slide is sorry, I did that prematurely, but everybody's sharing what games they're playing. That's awesome. Okay. So next slide for Mr. Holbert. Yes.
All right.
There we go. There you go, sir.
Okay. So that quote right there, I'll probably say his name wrong, but Shigeru Miyamoto is the creator of The Legend of Zelda and the Super Mario Brothers. And he said, video games are bad for you. That's what they said about rock and roll. It's kind of what they're still saying about hip hop to some extent, but there's always like a generation of people that think like all the new stuff that these kids are doing these days is bad. But gaming actually can be really good for your mental health. Virtual reality gaming is being used by the VA, as a matter of fact, for as a treatment for PTSD, and it's been shown to be fairly effective so far. It can be used in therapy, and it can enhance the rapport between the patient and the counselor. Online communication oftentimes is just easier, especially when you're speaking on hard to talk about topics. And just a sense of community. 70% of gamers play online with others or in the same room with others. 70% of gamers are playing multiplayer games. So there's always that kind of sense of community and belonging. Next slide, please. Here's just some statistics I found. 64% of U.S. households own some sort of gaming device. For some of you, that might be your kids. For some of you, that's you. For me and us here, it's both. So the average gamer, I feel like there's a stereotype a little bit of like gaming is for kids, but the average gamer is actually 34 years old. I think that's a good point in life where you still enjoy playing games and you make enough money to be able to afford them yourself instead of having to ask mom and dad for them. And 60% of Americans play video games daily. 55% of gamers say that gaming helps them connect with their friends. The internet's a great tool for that because you can connect with anyone, anytime, any place. For veterans specifically, it's easy to stay in touch with kind of your war buddies after deployment or after getting out of the military You can still, you can live in Florida and play a game with somebody in Alaska and at the same time. I think that's pretty unique and pretty powerful. 50% of gamers use games to cope with service-associated challenges. Escapism, like escaping your current reality to go live in a fantasy world for an hour or 2 or 3 or 6 or 8. I don't judge. That's a good thing, right? Similar effect of reading a book, but it's obviously more interactive if you're playing the game. Also, the social support that I mentioned earlier, kind of connecting with people, playing games online, being involved in some online communities, whether it's via Discord or social media, relating to a topic that everyone's passionate about. Next slide, please. All right, here's some of the games that I'm playing right now. Depending on my mood on any given day. Stack Up is one organization that there's several. Stack Up's one that I used to volunteer for several years ago. I don't anymore, but they're a great nonprofit. Wounded Warrior Project, is it project or program, whatever the P stands for, in Wounded Warrior. They've started up a gaming / streaming kind of cell to do a similar thing. But so the games here, I'm a big fan of the old school. Me likes the platformer game. So Ori and the Blind Forest is kind of an old school style platform game. The new Final Fantasy, I love a big kind of open world epic fantasy adventure type story game. Power Wash Simulator is probably one of the most satisfying games I've ever played. I see Justin in there talking about how satisfying it is. It's great. It's way more fun than actually power washing your house.
Yeah, I was gonna interject here, Mr. Herbert, if that's okay, because I love TikTok, and one of my favorite like TikTok channels to fall into is like the house cleaning, the power washing. Can you tell me more about this Power Wash Simulator? This is something that I may need to get into because I love a good like before and after clean situation.
Yeah, so this game, as you can see, kind of in the picture there, the right side of the house is completely a disaster, and the driveway and everything, it's covered in dirt and muck and grime. And your character, you own a power wash company in this little town called, I think, Muckville, if I remember right. But and your job is people hire you to clean your houses, and you can kind of upgrade your power washer with different attachments and different cleaners and whatever. But it's a really satisfying game to play. Like it's like a first person shooter game like Call of Duty, but it's a power washer, and you're power washing the house. You can climb up on the roof and power wash those shingles. And
I love it. I'm gonna go have to hunt that down. Is it like an app, or is it like a software?
It is. It's a software. It's on. Okay. I know for a fact it's on PlayStation or not PlayStation. It might be on PlayStation 2, but it's on Xbox and PC. You can download it.
So let me tell my husband to go get me a game.
It's really good. They've been collaborating with some other companies as well recently. So kind of other gaming stuff. They have a thing where you some DLC downloadable content for you non-gamers that you can you go and power wash Lara Croft's manor from Tomb Raider. There's some Final Fantasy power wash stuff where you're in the Final Fantasy world cleaning their stuff. And the most recent one was some SpongeBob content where you're in Bikini Bottom, pressure washing the invisible car from what are those two guys' names? I forget, the two old retired superheroes. But
Squidward? Oh no. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I don't remember their names, but yeah. But you do the Wonder Twins, yeah. They have an invisible car. You pressure wash all their stuff. You pressure wash Patrick's rock. So it's good times. Balloons is a fun little tower defense game where you play as basically an army of monkeys that are trying to stop a bunch of balloons by throwing darts and such at them, and it gets harder and harder as it goes on. And Call of Duty is probably one of the biggest games out there, and I think a lot of veterans who play games like to play Call of Duty. That's what I like to call my sweaty game. If I'm really feeling competitive and multiplayer-ish, then I'll play some Call of Duty.
Awesome. I love that. Thank you for
I saw a bunch of people in chat talking about the games they're playing. I saw Tears of the Kingdom. I just finished that a couple weeks ago. It's a great game. I'm a huge Zelda fan. Well, I have most of my tattoos are gaming related, and I have 3, I think, that are Zelda related. So I'm a huge Legend of Zelda fan. And the new games were great. And like Raphael pointed out, it's challenging for left and right brain. Legend of Zelda Tears
That
of
is
the Kingdom.
awesome. That is awesome. I just want to thank you, Ricky, for joining us and sharing all this. Like, we've had so much like conversation in this HCS Connect around this whole gaming topic. So I love it. I really, really do hope that you know, some of the games that Ricky mentioned are resonating with you guys. Clearly they are. And this definitely seems like something that we can continue in our HCS employee engagement teams channel. Maybe we can have some connections. Maybe we can start a side portal of gaming to see what's out there, what everyone is doing, because this has been great. And Ricky, I want to thank you again. I know you were off today. Thank you so much for joining us on your day off to be here, a part of our HCS Connect. We really appreciate it. So thank
no
you,
worries.
sir.
This was fun. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. Wonderful. And as we move on to our next slide, I want to be cognizant of time and keep you guys on track. So next we have our self-care stop. So this, moving on to our next slide again, this self-care stop is just about a 2-minute walking break, just a little simple thing that you can do. I know so many of us are tied to our computers with meetings, maybe even between gaming sessions that we're doing. You can take a 2-minute walking break workout. It's simple, something you can do at your desk. So you guys are welcome to participate if you'd like, or just watch. Do what is comfortable for your activity level. By no means do I want you guys to everybody get up and do this. If you'd like to join in, you can, but let's watch this simple 2-minute walking break, because cardio health is also really, really beneficial to your brain. There's no science out there that shows that we can reverse or prevent any brain-related diseases or conditions, but keeping our brains sharp and healthy and active can prevent some of those. So again, this is a quick 2-minute video. Let's go ahead and hit play. Miss Janae, awesome. Awesome. Thank you, ma'am.
If you are needing a boost of energy, some creativity, you want to have a walk. But if you can't get out, don't let that stop you. We're going to do a walk right here, right now, on the spot, and all you're going to need is 2 minutes. You can do 2 minutes. So standing on up, let's just do a little warm up through your feet, especially if you've been sitting down in that same position for a while. Bring one heel up and the other heel up, making sure those knees are getting warmed up there, your feet are getting warmed up. Moving your hips from side to side, 4 more like that. And now let's start walking. Yes, so often we feel like we just don't have the time, or just whatever situation we're in, we can't get out for a walk. But you get so many benefits by simply taking a walk on the spot. Swing those arms. Check in with your posture if you're slouching down. See if you can bring your shoulders back a little bit there. And see if you can swing your arms a little bit more, so you can really get that oxygen, which is energy, flowing to your body, up to your brain. So when you sit back down, your creative juices are flowing and you're able to think better and feel better. Now the ground is starting to get a little bit hot, so you can go walk a little bit faster. Keep your feet on up, just whatever pace feels good for you. Oh yes, that hot, hot ground, hot sand. Great. Keep it up there for another 8 counts if you can. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
My kids are laughing at me right now. What are you doing, Dad?
Break if you need it. Now swing those arms again. Bring those knees on up. Let's do that one more time, increasing the intensity to whatever works for you. Big proud walk here. And now let's start to get that hot ground, that hot sand happening. Go. Ouch, 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 ouch. Walking as fast as feels good for you. If you're feeling really energetic, you take a walk on the spot here.
I'm actually going to get you sweaty.
2 and 1. Beautiful. Bring it back down. Big breath in as your arms come up. And your arms come on down. And there you have it. I really hope you feel better from doing that, and hope to see you for another 2-minute move very soon. Bye-bye.
2-minute moves, folks. 2-minute moves. Thank you, Mr. Trujillo. I love that. My Apple Watch, I got my stand credit. I am good for today. Yes, so as we begin to wind down, I just want to highlight some upcoming HCS. Yes, I need some water. Next month, join us on August 30th, 2023 for our next HCS Connect session. Our special guest, Mr. Justin Mack. He's going to be talking about putting your best foot forward and letting your confidence shine. So we are very much looking forward to having Mr. Mack join us. Next slide, please, is our survey for today's event. If you guys could please just take a minute and share your thoughts. Let us know what you thought of today's program. I'm going to drop that in the chat just so you guys can see it. You can scan the QR code as well, but here is the link to our survey. Yes, and our next slide, please, ma'am. Again, if you'd like to be a guest for HCS Connect, please let us know. We'd love to feature our employees. We'd love to incorporate y'all into this event. I hope you guys are enjoying these events so much. So if you'd like to join us, please let us know. And our next slide is again just highlighting some upcoming work-life wellness and employee engagement programs. We've got our employee development spotlight on Monday, Color of Leadership panel in August, and our special emphasis program on August 21st, and again, August HCS Connect on August 30th. So I just want to say thank you guys so much for taking time out of your Friday to join us here today. We really appreciate it. So go off and have a great VA day, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us.
Bye, everyone.